Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another crime cast. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everybody that is in the room. We are in the building. We got late night crime cast. If you guys are pumped for late night crime cast, then throw some radiation emoji in the chat. All right. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. If you guys don't, y'all know what to do. We got Vega in the building. We got my man Terrence Jackson up in here. We got Carlton Wade, DJ Elmo, Vovo to Love, Carla Lockard. Let me see who else we got. T-Rex and Penny and Abby Normal. Shout out to Abby. What's good with it? So let's get into this because guess what? We don't have a lot of time, but we got a hell of a lot of crime. Shout out to my man Alonzo Griffin. All right. So this first article that we're going to be talking about is this right here. All right. Rogues Gallery of Albanian Deleters to be deported. So, we got some Sean Paul action. Deport them. Man, they don't tell you about this. All of these people that are pictured right here are deleters. All of these individuals here are deleters. They're deleterious. These are some deleterious people. You know what I'm saying? So let's check it out and see what they're talking about. So now here it says, one of Albania's worst serial deleters is among 17 convicted deleters that the Telegraph can reveal are to be deported to their home country and serve out the remainder of their sentences under a new deal. So we already got to ask the question, how did these deleters get a deal? Shout out to my man Torian Rain. I don't know if you guys saw the post that Torian Rain put up, and I shared it to my community tab, but we are taking guesses on what our most recent collaboration is about. So make sure you guys like that post that he posted and also put something in the chat on that post what you guys think that we're going to be talking about. All right. 5-time deleter Maine Drizza, who is 45, who used the nickname of Al Pacino's character Scarface, is among the rogue gallery of deleters whose cumulative UK jail terms, which they were sentenced by British courts, totals 336 years. All right. So now I want you guys to pay very close attention. When you look at all of these thugs right here, as you guys lay your eyes on these thugs on the screen, the total jail time combined with all of these deleterious individuals is 336 years. Okay. He will be deported under an agreement ratified last week where Britain will pay Albania £4 million a year to take back 200 of the most dangerous Albanian criminals jailed for offenses including deleting, grape, burglary, and drug dealing. I thought we were the only ones that commit crime. Shout out to Terrence. If you guys agree with Terrence, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. He said they all look like cops except for number 5. You know what I'm saying? They all look like cops except for number 5. I can see that. These guys all look like cops. They could get a job working for the cops here in the United States. They could get a job working for the cops here in the United Snakes. You know? So this is wild, man. This is wild. We're going to check out. We should check out this Albania's or the Albanian 200 most dangerous criminals. This is wild. You know what I'm saying? We'll actually take a look at this. All right. They will serve the same length of sentence as they would have in the UK, but it will cost Britain just a quarter of the annual £40,000 price, which for this group of deleters would have been £13.4 million over the 336 years. Okay. So now my question is if Britain is saving money by doing this kind of thing, my question is the United States looking into doing this kind of thing to save money in the criminal justice system and get rid of dangerous individuals that we have here? Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Driza, also known as Tony Montana, aka Scarface, had shot a father and son dead in Albania in 1997 before fleeing to the UK under an assumed name. In 1999, he murdered a countryman, Stephen Moan, a father-to-be, inflicting 120 injuries using a lock knife, pickaxe, and cheese knife. That sounds like an extremely painful deletion. That sounds like an extremely painful deletion. He fled to Italy, where he deleted 2 men in a bar in Sicily 6 months later, narrowly avoiding deleting a third when his gun jammed. Interviewed in prison in Sicily by Scotland Yard detectives, he claimed Mr. Moan planned to delete him in revenge for his earlier murders. He was jailed for life to serve a minimum of 20 years. A second to be deported, Kosi Salamaj, who is 37, a former garage worker, jailed for a minimum of 36 years for the deletion of a primary school teacher named Sabina Nessa in September of 2021. His refusal to appear in the dock to hear his sentence has led to Justice Secretary Alex Chalk rewriting UK laws to force offenders to face courts. So now it seems like they got a lot of problems going on over there. shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo said, Blacklight, the Albanians like to eat their fingernails in public. I see them on public transport and move. Iceman inheritance. Facts. Fingernails in the coffin. You know what I'm saying? Double murderer Ali Quasmaj, 49, was jailed for a minimum of 35 years after killing retired couple Peter Stewart, who was 75, and his wife Sylvia, who was 69, near his home in Suffolk in June of 2016. He had worked as a career for a relative of the Stewart's son-in-law and has never disclosed where the body of Silva is hidden. Okay. Erland Sfinu, who was 34, was sentenced to a minimum of 35 years for his role in the kidnap and murder of former boxer Christopher Hughes in Lancashire. The 37-year-old suffered nearly 100 separate injuries, having been hunted down by a vigilante gang who wrongly believed the dad had raped a teenager. Irian Voja, 22, was the second member of the 8-man gang jailed for a combined total of 229 years for the murder of Mr. Hughes. As he was led to the cells to serve his 23-year sentence, Voja screamed, "I know myself. I'm no murderer. I'll get my justice one day. UT." So I don't know what when they say UT, what that means. I don't know the slur that begins with a T. How many of you guys know the slur that begins with a T? Shout out to Black Manta. What's good with it, bro? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody watching. If you guys have not smashed that like button, please make sure you guys take a moment, smash the like button. We got 12 people watching and we got 6 likes. If we can get those likes over 10, that would be great. Besnik Berisha, who is 45, was jailed for 33 years after, check this out, posing as a police officer to stab a friend 42 times in a savage execution outside of a school. The victim, Shaquilm Paja, a 36-year-old father, had been seeking repayment of a loan of £15,000 to Berisha. So that Berisha didn't have to pay the money up, he stabbed this guy. He stabbed this guy, tore him up. Ugert Marijaz, who is 33, was jailed for 32 years for killing a fellow drug dealer with the sawed-off shotgun at point-blank range, while Lundrim Gokoj, who is 40, was sentenced to 28 years for murdering a 27-year-old fellow Albanian to avoid paying back a 250,000 pound debt. Okay. So now what we have here is some quote unquote proximity crime. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree that these are proximity crimes to the nth degree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now remember, these are people who are not citizens or people who have immigrated to the United Kingdom. And now they're being removed from the United Kingdom and sent back to Albania. Did I say the right country? Albania? Yeah, to Albania. Okay. Elton Sifa, who was 27, was jailed for 22 years for murdering his fellow construction worker, John Woodward, after a row on a high-rise building site in Hatton Garden, East London. Joseph Nushi, who was 27, an Albanian gang member, was sentenced to 20 years for beating to death a man who had tried to steal drugs from them, as well as Mihal Dana, who is 29, sentenced to 16 years for killing Tomas Waga, who is 23. Mr. Waga's sister told Newport Crown Court that her brother's body was dumped like a bag of rubbish. So, I mean, again, like I try to tell y'all, it's going down in the UK. It's going down in the UK. You know what I'm saying? Abby Normal says, PC, ethnic alien on alien crime. Facts. If you guys agree with that classification that Abby came with, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to my man, John Guillory. What's good with it, bro? Radikan Lika, who is 36, and Brikel Paljaz, who is 33, were both jailed for 20 years minimum for stabbing to death a fellow Albanian in a knife fight over a cannabis crop. Albanians Dorian Prija, 33, and Quasim Marku, who is 25, were jailed for 19 years after a similar row over a cannabis farm deal that resulted in murder. So these guys are doing drugs, they're selling drugs, and they're deleting people out here. They're doing drugs, selling drugs, and deleting people out here. And then, so you guys remember when the Ukraine stuff first popped off and the lady on TV was like, but this is Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here, this is Europe. Okay. Erlen Hassa, jailed for 23 years, was described as a monster in court for knifing a man to death in an unprovoked attack at a flat. Now, shout out to Carlton Way and shout out to Villainous One, who are in the Reacts Discord. And if you're not a member of the Blacklight Revelations Discord, make sure you guys hit that link that's pinned in the chat. But somebody posted something on Twitter, and 90% of the people said that they would be more likely to be deleted by a random black person than they would be to be deleted by any other group of people. According to the stories that we present here on CrimeCast, I gotta disagree with that. I gotta disagree with that. Okay? Olsi Manja, the Albanian justice minister, said that they have the first transfers in September after applications to the Albanian courts to recognize the sentences passed down by the UK judges. A Ministry of Justice spokesman said, we have deported over 10,000 foreign offenders from around the world to their home country in the past 3 years. The government continues to work closely with the Albanian government, including the removal of Albanian offenders through the prison transfer agreement. Okay, so that's the end of that. So now my question is, how many people knew that it was going down like this with these thugs over in the UK? DJ Elmo says, what date was on this article? Because I never saw this in mainstream media in the UK. The date on this article is yesterday at 8:33 a.m. and I will post it for you, DJ Elmo, in the chat. These are some thugs. THUG, we be. That's the mentality we thugging. Thugging to the day I die. Thugging to the day I die. They was out here committing more murder, come again. Oh man, come again, more murder. Let me see. Hold on real quick. I don't know how this might be a lot as far as characters. Hopefully it's not too many. Let me see. Let me know if that link is good. I just put that link in the chat. All right. So here is another article, and this article here talks about these 200 most dangerous criminals to be deported from the UK. So now my question is, when it comes to the United States, what's the United States policy on getting rid of dangerous criminals? Does the United States get rid of these criminals that are dangerous, that are not from the United States? And my question is it xenophobia to feel that that might not be a bad idea? The link works? Okay, bet. Good looking, John. Appreciate it, bro. So these are Albania's 200 most dangerous criminals to be deported from the UK. So now here's my question. In the UK, who do they blame the crime on? In UK, does 13% of the population commit 55% of the crime? And if that statistic is true, who is that 13%? That's my question. And does 13% of the population commit 55% of the crime in all of the rest of the world? Or is that just a condition that took place or takes place here in the United States? That's my question. Let's get those international crime stats popping, shall we? Because if the international crime stats don't match the United States crime stats, that would imply that there's something different that goes on that drives crime here in the United States. So now we know what the answer is, but my question for you guys is, what do you all think it is that drives crime here in the United States? The kind of crime that they like to put our face all over. That's my question, guys. Up to 200 of Albania's most dangerous criminals are to be deported from the UK to serve the rest of their jail sentences in Albanian prisons under a multi-pound deal paid for by the UK. So now my question for you guys is, why are Albania's most dangerous criminals even in the UK? Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says in the UK, they deal with the same thing as we deal with here. In UK, Black people commit all the crime, despite the fact that they're only 3% of the population and 0% of any of these people getting deported. 17 lifers, including the murderer of school teacher Sabrina Nessa, are expected to be the first of the 200 convicted killers, gangsters, and drug warlords who will be removed to serve the remaining decades of their sentences in Albanian jails. Okay. Koshi Salamjaz was jailed for life with a minimum sentence of 36 years for beating and strangling Sabina to death in a park in southeast London. He has so far only served 2 years, which would mean the UK paying the Albanians to imprison him for the remaining 34 years of his sentence. The move follows months of secret negotiations between Ministry of Justice officials in both countries after Rishi Sunak first discussed the plan with Albania's Prime Minister Edi Rama in talks in Downing Street in March. Okay. It is understood that the two governments are close to agreement after Albania pushed for the UK to fund their incarceration for full jail terms, and Britain sought assurances that the country's prisons were up to standards to avoid any human rights claims that they had enough places in their jails to hold them. The move is part of a wide drive by the government to expel Albanians jailed for crimes in the UK. So now my question is, it sounds like there's a lot going on when it comes to Albanian people in the UK. Would you guys agree? It seems like there's a lot going on with Albanians in the UK. But again, for whatever reason, this is just something that you don't hear about in the mainstream media. Under a separate agreement, Albanian criminals are also being released up to a year early from their jail sentences and given £1,500 resettlement grants if they agree to be deported and never return to the UK. Now, here's my question. What kind of SHIT is that? Have you ever heard of anything like that? We're going to deport you. We're going to pay you $1,500, and we're simply asking you never to come back again. Well, newsflash, they're going to come back again. Would you guys agree? They're going to come back again. They're going to take that $1,500 or £1,500, and they're going to flip it, and they're going to come back, and they're going to do what they was doing. Albanians account for the largest number of foreign inmates in prisons in England, Wales, with 1,336 held behind bars in the UK at the end of last year. Well, if that's the case, then why are they blaming the crime on black people in the United Kingdom? Shout out to my man Lehman Lucas. What's good with it, bro? If that's the case, then why are they blaming it on black people? That's a legitimate question, isn't it? Now, I wonder what percentage of the population the Albanian people in the UK are. Proportion of Albanians in prison in England and Wales has doubled in the past 5 years. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do we need to have a difficult talk about Albanian presence in the UK? And my question is, if we are going to have that talk, then why aren't we having that talk publicly on Fox News? Is it because this is Europe? Could that possibly be why? Only Albanians jailed for more than 4 years will be eligible for the prison transfer scheme, which builds on an agreement that came into force last May. It stipulated deported criminals must serve the full sentence handed down by the British judges and bars them from returning to the UK. It's a money-saving measure. So now let me ask you guys a question. Does this seem like a good thing, or does this seem like a bad thing? They're bringing back all these hardcore Albanians right in time for Andrew and Tristan Tate to get locked up. what do you guys think about that? They're bringing back all of these hardcore Albanians right in time for Andrew and Tristan Tate to get locked up. UK officials believe that the new deal will save the UK money, as costs of imprisonment in Albania are a fraction of those in the UK. The cost of holding Selmaj for another 34 years would be £57 a year in high security UK jail, totaling £1.9 million. It can be as little as £10,000 a year in Albania. Now, here's my question. Why is the cost significantly lower in Albania? he ain't gonna be the top G at that whatever prison he at. They deporting the top G's back to the prison. So when it comes to the prison sentence, if the Tate brothers end up being in the prison, they're not gonna be top G's in that prison. If it's got all these people coming back, they said they got like 200 hardcore killers coming back, right in time for the Tates to be in prison. They're not gonna be top G's in there. They're not gonna be top G's. They might mess around and be bottom B's. You know what I'm saying? John Guillory says, well, according to various sources, there were about 21,000 Albanians in the UK. Abby, you said the wizard friend. That's hilarious. Their removal will help ease the crisis over prison overcrowding, which has forced the MOJ to hold offenders in police cells. Albania has made clear it will not receive any prisoners from the UK unless a sum has been agreed in advance for the full term of their sentence, although the money will not be paid up front. So Albania not only got to get these people out of their country for a while, but they're also getting paid to take back their own residents. Carlton Way said the Tates will be switching their hips in prison, might be switching their gender too. You know what I'm saying? That might go down. You know what I'm saying? There's a possibility that they might become more open-minded and more open-bottomed. Sometimes when people go to jail, they not only become more open-minded, they become more open-bottomed. You know what I'm saying? So, wish them well. You know what I'm saying? It's understood that the MOJ has identified all the Albanians serving life sentences who are intended to be first transferred. They are thought to include 2 Albanian burglars who murdered a 21-year-old in an attempt to steal drugs, an Albanian con man who murdered an elderly couple, and an Albanian who killed a drug dealer. An MOJ spokesperson said the government continues to work closely with the Albanian government, including on the removal of Albanian offenders through the prison transfer agreement. Under the resettlement scheme, Albanians are released early and given a grant of up to £1,500 if they agree not to appeal their deportation. Now, I'm sorry, but I find this absolutely wild that they're paying these people. And shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says MOJ is an acronym for Ministry of Justice. What do you guys think about that? They're paying these people. They are warned that if they return to the UK without permission, they will be immediately sent back to jail to serve the remaining time on their sentences in a British prison. A 30-year-old Albanian who is allowed to return to his homeland after serving just 2 years of a 6-year jail for drug offenses told the BBC, I decided to come back to Albania and I'm not going back to the UK. Many people have decided to come back because of the offer. They take off 1 year. 1 year is too much in prison. Oh, yeah, I bet. I bet. I got another bet for you. I bet you any amount of time is too much in prison. In facts, shout out to my man Alonzo. Absolutely. You guys throw some radiation emoji in the chat for my man Alonzo. And if you guys haven't smashed that like button yet, please make sure you guys smash that like button. We got 18 people watching. Shout out to the 18 people who are watching. And we have 10 likes. So if we can get those likes over 20, that would be great. All right. So what do we have next? I want you guys to take a wild guess. What do we have next? You would never guess. ICE, ICE, baby. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Uh-oh. 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 Here come the hammer. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here come the hammer. Uh-oh. 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 They coming quick over the border. No respect, no law and order. These cats crazy. I ain't lying. They out here to get rich or die trying. In America, in a city near you. They don't speak the language, so they can't hear you. They would get sent back, but Biden cleared through. Ice, ice, baby. New, 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 new. You better watch it. They might come and grape you. Show me that ID. I ain't got no papers. Oh man. Oh yeah, you know I will be doing the dance. Man, I had an old school with the top button on and everything. You know what I'm saying? I'll be climbing up the fence in the video. I'll be rapping at the top of the fence. I would throw up the signs, but I got a barbed wire that's stuck in my hand. How I get across the Rio Grande. I did the backstroke and then the running man. Ice, ice, baby. Oh man. You know what I'm saying? That's terrible. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show y'all how to snitch. Let me teach you how to snitch. Call 1-866-DHS2-ICE to report suspicious activity. Why you up here telling these people to snitch? I don't know, because y'all just acting suspicious. Y'all be walking around saying weird stuff on that strange shit. And I don't know, I don't understand the language. So I ain't messing with y'all. Talking underlay, 911 call. Ice, ice, baby. Oh man, that's terrible. That's xenophobia. You know what I'm saying? God. July 21st, 2023, St. Paul, Minnesota. Narcotics. Bars. You already know. Bars. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's terrible. St. Paul, Minnesota, U.S. Attorney Max Schneider for the District of North Dakota announced that Juan Silas Racha, who is 45, of Tijuana, Mexico, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance, continuing criminal enterprise, and conspiracy to commit murder in furtherance of the continuing criminal enterprise before Chief Judge Pete Welt in Fargo, North Dakota on July 13th. The court will schedule a sentencing at a later date. So now here's my question. How many people heard about this particular situation? If you guys heard about this, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't hear about this, give me a thumbs down. Oh man, I just got here. I got rice on the breath. I don't know nothing, but I bet you I could speak good English if you're talking about the price on that meth. Ice, ice, baby. I'm selling ice, ice, baby. It's clear. It's clear. I give you this meth if you take me a dozen. Over the border, let me go get my cousin. And she got to go and then get her husband. And don't get mad, we also selling skunk. You could fit about 12 of us inside the trunk. Border Patrol pull us over. Fuck it, they getting jumped. Ice, ice, baby. On March 31st, Silius Racha was indicted by a grand jury in North Dakota in a superseding indictment alleging 3 crimes. Authorities arrested Silius Racha on November 4th, 2011 in Tijuana and served him with a provisional arrest warrant issued by a court in Mexico, which started the extradition process. On September 8th, 2022, after 11 years of litigation in Mexico, officials extradited Silius Racha to the United States. Terrence Jackson said, I see a Blacklight Pearly collab in the works. Me and Pearly collab all the time. She makes content and I roast her. It's a really great relationship. You know what I'm saying? I told you I can work with just about anybody. I told you I could work with just about anybody. Me and Pearly been collaborating for a while now. You know what I'm saying? she puts out the content, I roast it. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice deal. She just gets paid more, but that's how it is with her contracts. And I didn't sign a contract, so you know. At least I still own my intellectual properties. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says he made his initial appearance in North Dakota on September 9th of 2022. The Department of Justice Office of International Affairs and the U.S. Attorney's Office in North Dakota played a significant role in the extradition. In 2004, authorities initiated an investigation into the drug trafficking activities of Fargo drug dealers. The Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force case, dubbed Operation Speed Racer, revealed that from January of 2002 until December of 2005, Jorge Arandes, aka Sneaky, supervised a continuing criminal enterprise responsible for transporting large quantities of methamphetamine, cocaine, and marijuana to North Dakota and Minnesota from Washington, California, and Mexico. Silius Racha or his employees supplied Arandes. All right. they look at this. They thugging out here. You know what I'm saying? They thugging like crazy. They selling drugs. They out here selling drugs. They thugging. You know what I'm saying? Silius Racha was a distributor for the Arenello Felix organization and was supervised directly by Arturo Villarreal Hirita, aka El Nalgon, who worked for the Javier Francisco Arellano Felix, aka El Triggerello. This dude name was Tigarello. This dude name was El Tigarello. The U.S. Attorney's Office. These sound like some damn gangsters. These sound like some people that try to delete your infant if you $1 short. These sound like Los Pollos Hermanos. You know what I'm saying? 5 people who participated in a related homicide pleaded guilty for their roles in the murder in furtherance of the continuing criminal enterprise. Now, here's my question. Do you guys think that this gang here, these little cartels organizations, do you guys think that these little cartel organizations here worked with American criminals? If you guys feel that these little cartels here collaborated with American criminals, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that they did, then give me a thumbs down. This is wild, man. There's a lot going on here. Gabriel Martinez received a life sentence, while Arandes was sentenced to 40 years. Michael Petzold, Alan Wessels, and Martin Carrillo received sentences of 30 years, 23 years, and 20 years, respectively. So, I mean, in these first 3 articles that we've read, these are some gangsters. Like, these are the kind of people they make movies about. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Roots Trackers. It was good with the Roots Trackers. These are some G's. You know what I'm saying? These are some thugs for real. After Arnello Felix's arrest in 2006, his nephew, Fernando Sanchez Arnello, a.k.a., good Lord, El Ingeniero? This motherfucking name was El Ingeniero, assumed control of the Arnello Felix organization. Under Sanchez Arnello's leadership, Silius Racha became very powerful and lieutenant in the cartel, controlling cells that were responsible for drug trafficking, armed conflicts with rival cartels, kidnappings, and numerous murders. Like, man, it's a lot of hyphenated names up in there. This is a lot of criminal activity. So now my question is, do you all think that the people that are being dumped into these neighborhoods here in the United States, do you all think that these people have any connection to any of this stuff here? What do you guys think? Silas Racha continued working for the cartel until his arrest in November of 2011. He acknowledged committing overt acts in furtherance of the conspiracy and continuing criminal enterprise after 2011, while he was incarcerated in Mexico. In February of 2011, Silas Racha ordered the murders of 2 people in California for retribution for the alleged kidnapping and murder of a drug smuggler associated with Silas Racha. Okay, so what I want you guys to see is that when it comes to this right here, these people playing, they're not only playing dirty, but they're playing for keeps. And these are deep, networked, organized crime families. Would you guys agree that these people are deep, networked, and organized? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 19 people watching on YouTube, and we got 1 person watching on Twitch. If everybody could take a moment, smash that like button, hit the bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. That would be great. 3 co-conspirators were arrested and charged in San Diego County with conspiracy to commit murder. Arrested were the Silius Racha brothers, Jorge Silius, Victor Magana, Danny Cipallo. All 3 defendants pleaded guilty in state court in San Diego. Silas received a 21-year sentence, while Magana and Cipello received 15 and 5 years, respectively. Okay. As part of the Operation Speed Racer, 66, and remember what I said about that? 66 defendants were charged in 18 separate indictments, with Silas Racha's July 13th, so again, pay attention, 13, guilty plea. The investigation is closed. So now that's interesting. The investigation is closed, and I don't know if anybody in the United States was investigated as a result of this. Now, if you ask me, it's possible that there could be people in the United States who operated as part of this ongoing criminal enterprise, right? But if you ask me, there's a high probability that the Americans involved in this criminal operation were more than likely FBI informants. But I don't know. But I'm making that assumption. Would you guys agree that that's a reasonable assumption to make? So now here it says, the crimes that led to this guilty plea affected public safety in North Dakota, and it is therefore fitting that this individual now faces justice in a federal courthouse in Fargo, said U.S. Attorney for the District of North Dakota, Max Schneider. This result is a great example of what can be achieved when local, state, and federal international law enforcement work together across jurisdiction lines. I congratulate our prosecution team and their law enforcement partners on this outcome, which would not have been possible without their perseverance and determination. Well, I'll tell you what, one thing that they cooperate across all jurisdictions on is anti-Black racism, and they cooperate on not making any law enforcement reform. So if you guys agree on that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with that, then give me a thumbs down and let me know why you disagree. Let me know why you disagree, if you disagree. Okay. The prosecution, extradition, and now conviction of Juan Silius Racha brings to an end over a decade of tireless, coordinated effort by investigators and prosecutors from Fargo, North Dakota, and South San Diego, California, and sends a powerful message that violence perpetrated or orchestrated by persons at the highest level of Mexican drug trafficking organizations against persons in the United States will not go unanswered, said San Diego County District Attorney Summer Stephen. I want to express my appreciation for the commitment to public safety and the pursuit of justice demonstrated by our colleagues in North Dakota. Today's guilty verdict by an individual indicted 12 years ago. Now, they indicted this individual 12 years ago and just now got the sentencing. So now my question for you guys is, how much do you all think that cost? How much do you think that cost? Do you guys think that a lot of taxpayer money went into this? If you guys think that a lot of taxpayer money went into this, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that much taxpayer money went into this, then give me a thumbs down. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of taxpayer money went into this. I would not be surprised. It's not unusual to get taxed unfair. It's not unusual to get taxed unfair. When the government is dumb and they let illegals come, it's not unusual to get taxed unfair. It's not unusual to look for the money and it's not there. Man, you can make a song out of any damn thing nowadays and it'll go platinum. The West Fargo Police Department is proud to have been a partner agency in the investigation of Operation Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer. They was going Speed Racer. Oh man, they going right to jail, Speed Racer. Said Chief of Police Dennis Otternest. This case exemplifies the power of mutual aid between multiple law enforcement agencies in helping to bring drug traffickers to justice, and the additional benefit of removing large quantities of controlled substances from our communities. I would like to thank all of the law enforcement officers involved for their hard work, perseverance, and dedication over the course of this 19-year investigation. Now, you know what I find fascinating? When it comes to their communities, they're removing drugs and removing drug dealers. When it comes to our community, one thing that we know that they did was utilize these cartels and utilize these gangs to put drugs into the community. And if you ask me, I wouldn't be surprised if that's still going on today. Probably by the time our kids and grandchildren are our age, more COINTEL type pro information will have come out. If you guys agree that that's probably a thing of the future, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree and think that all that stuff is cleaned up and I'm just a conspiracy theorist like they say about my channel, then give me a thumbs down. This case was investigated by the DEA, the HSI, St. Paul, IRS Criminal Investigation, the U.S. Marshal Service, the North Dakota Bureau of Criminal Investigation, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, the Grand Forks Narcotic Task Force, the East Grand Fork Police Department, the West Fargo Police Department, the Clay County, Minnesota Sheriff's Office, the California Department of Justice, the San Diego County District Attorney's Office, the Fargo Police Department, the Moorhead Police Department, and the Polk County, Minnesota Attorney's Office. That is a lot of bureaucracy. That is a lot of bureaucracy. And I'll tell you what, shout out to Abby. That movie Fargo is more evidence that is extremely difficult to survive the suburbs. They came out with a TV show that was based on the movie on Fox. Assistant U.S. Attorney Christopher C. Myers, with assistance from Deputy District Attorney James Fontaine of the San Diego District Attorney's Office, prosecuted the case. The Justice Department's Office of International Affairs worked with law enforcement partners in Mexico to secure Celius Rocha's arrest and extradition. HSI St. Paul oversees sub-offices in Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. HSI is the principal investigative arm of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, responsible for investigating transnational crime and threats, specifically those criminal organizations that exploit the global infrastructure through which international trade, travel, and finance move. So now that's interesting. What is the global infrastructure through which international trade, travel, and finance move? What is that? No, I never read that book, DJ Elmo. I gotta check it out. DJ Elmo says, Blacklight, have you read Dark Alliance by Gary Webb about how the alphabet intelligence flooded Black FBA communities with drugs? No, I haven't read that book. Is there anybody in the comment section that's read that book? That's something that we need to check out. One of these days, if I can ever get to the point of where I'm able to do more content, we will definitely be doing those kind of topics, because then I'll have time to read. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me ask you guys a question. If a global infrastructure is set up and a certain group of people runs this global infrastructure, and within that infrastructure, international trade, travel, and finance move, is that the ultimate value chain? That's not even a value. That's beyond the value chain. That's a value encapsulation. That's a value encapsulation, because no value can be generated outside of that. So now let me ask you guys a question. When it comes to this global infrastructure through which international trade, travel, and finance move, who do you feel makes the most money and holds the most control over this quote unquote global infrastructure that it talks about on this government website? That's something for you guys to think about. So now here it says HSI's workforce of more than 8,700 employees consists of more than 6,000 special agents assigned to 237 cities throughout the United States and 93 overseas locations in 56 countries. HSI's international presence represents the DHS's largest investigative law enforcement presence abroad and one of the largest international footprints in U.S. law enforcement. Okay. So now my question is, why is it that the news doesn't cover this kind of stuff here? I mean, as you guys can see, this is public information and it's available, right? So why no news coverage? Here's my question. Where can you go to get this kind of information other than the CRIMECAST channel? And so the reason why I asked that is that if this information isn't readily available to the public, my question is, how would anybody know about it to combat any talking points? Talking points like the people committing the crimes in New York. Now, Mayor Eric Adams said that Black people need to stop listening to drill music because drill music contributes to crime. My question is, what did he tell these people here to stop listening to? What did he tell those people there to stop listening to? Enforcement and removal operations, New York City's fugitive operations team arrested a 29-year-old unlawfully present felon and citizen of El Salvador on July 14th. Now, here's my question. How did he get there? And here's another question for you guys. How many people knew about this law enforcement organization coming out of New York? It's called the Enforcement and Removal Operations. How many people knew about that? The arrest of this sexual predator sends a strong and clear message that ERO, New York City, will not tolerate violent criminals in our communities, said Field Office Director Kenneth Ginallo. I truly commend the efforts of our officers whose vigilance and dedication led to the safe apprehension of this individual. Okay. So now here it says on an unknown date at an unknown location, the non-citizen illegally entered the United States without being inspected, admitted, or paroled by an immigration officer. Now, here's my question. How did that happen? I want you guys to give me your best theories on how that occurred in the comment section. And here's another question for people. Who would be interested in following these kinds of crimes? If you're interested in this kind of crime, let me know in the comment section. On August 29th of 2022, the Nassau County Court convicted him of sexual abuse, first degree, contact by forcible compulsion. Okay? So we're dealing with that again. We're dealing with that again. So what I'm going to do for you guys that put your thumbs up in the comment section, there's a Twitter link here, a Twitter @ name, okay, for this ERO New York. Now, it should be pretty hot, right? I'm gonna follow it here on Twitter so that I can get some notifications about what's going on here, and I'm gonna link it to you guys so you guys can get some notifications too. And when you guys see some good stuff, make sure that you shoot it to your boy. You can put it in the Discord, shoot it to me on social media. All right. Or tag me in it on Twitter. Tag me in it on Facebook. This is the New York branch that we had no idea existed. And for whatever reason, the mainstream media doesn't cover any information from. Okay. On July 14th, ERO New York, Long Island Fugitive Operations Team arrested him without incident and issued him a notice to appear, ordering him to appear before an immigration judge to determine whether he may remain in the United States. The non-citizen will remain in custody pending removal proceedings. So now, again, my question is, why do you think that he was in New York? And how did he get there? Why was this individual in New York, and how did he get there? Non-citizens placed into removal proceedings receive their legal due process from federal immigration judges in the immigration courts, which are administered by the Justice Department's Executive Office for Immigration Review. Executive Office for Immigration Review is an agency within the U.S. Department of Justice and separate from the Department of Homeland Security and ICE. Immigration judges in these courts make decisions based on the merits of each individual case. ERO officers carry out the removal decisions made by the federal immigration judges. So now my question is, how many people knew about this, again, this particular organization? How many people knew about this organization? Ah, Carlton Way says because New York City is a sanctuary city. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. And if you guys agree with Lehman Lucas, give me a radiation emoji. All right, so I'm gonna put the link to this agency here in the chat. I'm telling you, they give away a lot of this information, and you don't really hear about any of this stuff on the news. ERO officers make enforcement decisions on a case-by-case basis in a professional and responsible manner, informed by their experience as law enforcement officers and in a way that best protects against the greatest threats to the homeland and the integrity of the United States immigration laws. Now, my question is, I'm curious as to if we asked one of them about how they feel about New York's immigration screening processes, I don't think that they would give them favorable reviews. I just got this feeling. I don't think that it would go down like that. I don't think that they really appreciate what's going on in New York. As one of ICE's 3 operational directorates, ERO is the principal federal law enforcement authority in charge of domestic immigration enforcement. All right. How many people knew that? If you knew that, give me a thumbs up. If you did not know that, then give me a thumbs down. See, now after reading this, you'll be more armed to know about what's going on in New York and Chicago and why certain things are versus are not happening. How many times have you heard about these agencies here in the news when talking about these issues in these sanctuary cities? And clearly they're allowed to have them in the sanctuary city because this is going down in New York. I'm going to read this again. As one of ICE's 3 operational directorates. All right. So ERO is a part of ICE. There's ICE at the top, and then there's 3 parts that make up ICE. ERO is one of them. ERO's function is that ERO is the principal federal law enforcement authority in charge of domestic immigration enforcement. Now, my question to you guys is, what does domestic immigration enforcement entail? What does domestic immigration enforcement entail? ERO's mission is to protect the homeland through the arrest and removal of those who undermine the safety of the U.S. communities and the integrity of U.S. immigration laws, and its primary areas of focus are interior enforcement operations, management of the agency's detained and non-detained populations, and repatriation of non-citizens who have received final orders of removal. ERO's workforce consists of more than 7,700 law enforcement and non-law enforcement support personnel across 25 domestic field offices and 208 locations nationwide, 30 overseas postings, and multiple temporary duty travel assignments along the border. Okay. In fiscal year 2022, ERO arrested 46,396 non-citizens with criminal histories. How many people knew that number was that high? That's a lot. It's a lot of people. Why are these criminal people here? See, that's the question right there. Why are the criminal people there? This group had 498,000 associated charges and convictions, including 21,531 assault offenses and 8,164 sex and sexual assault offenses, 5,554 weapon offenses, 1,501 homicide-related offenses, and 1,114 kidnapping cases. Members of the public can report crimes and suspicious activities by dialing 866-347-2423 or by completing ICE's online tip form. Okay? Now, you know what's interesting about this? They didn't mention anything much about the actual individual who was arrested and detained. They didn't mention very much about the individual that was arrested and detained. Did you guys catch that? So check this out right here. I'm just going to put this up on the screen and I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm going to let y'all take it in. That's a good question, DJ Elmo. I wonder. We're going to have to try to figure out how to calculate or look up a statistic on that. This woman right here stabbed her boyfriend. There you go, right there. The face only a mother could love. She stabbed her boyfriend. El Paso County Sheriff's deputies on Thursday arrested a 25-year-old woman. Man, that's a hard 25. Accused of stabbing her boyfriend several times during the early morning hours. So she just decided to perforate him a little bit. She decided to puncture him a little bit. Deputies responded to a home in the 600 block of Catalina Drive, located in the Stratmore Valley area of unincorporated El Paso County, after receiving a report that just before 3:30 a.m. about a stabbing at a home, officials said in a news release. Now, my question is, what usually goes on at 3:30 in the morning? You guys ever watched any horror movies? In those times of suspense, when you start hearing stuff moving, but there's nobody there, and then they show a picture of the clock, what time is it usually? Yeah, it looks like she used a cactus on her face to apply her exfoliant and remove her mud mask, doesn't it? I'd try, a loofah or some softer soap. You know what I'm saying? If I was her. Carlton said 3:30 a.m. is the devil hour or booty call hour. Facts. That's 3:30 a.m. is you're just SOL if you're in the drive-thru at Taco Bell hour too. You're either not getting Taco Bell or you're getting a taco shell with a whole bunch of lettuce and cheese and no meat on it. If you in the Taco Bell line at 3:30. Or depending where you at, you might get like everything that they have on the heaters left, depending on where you at. Torian said that chick looked like one of Vinca's underlings from Stranger Things. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody watching. We got 21 people watching. If you guys haven't smashed the like button or subscribed to the channel, take a moment, hit that bell icon and subscribe to the channel and smash that like button and help us get over 30 likes. When deputies arrived, they found an unnamed male with multiple stab wounds, sheriff's officials said. Deputies rendered first aid and took the man to a local hospital for treatment. As of about 4 p.m. Thursday, the man remained at the hospital, according to the release. Deputies determined through an on-scene investigation that the man's girlfriend, Alexa Henry Strasburg, was the sole suspect. Deputies arrested Henry Strasburg and booked her into the El Paso County Jail. She is charged with criminal attempt first-degree murder with domestic violence enhancer, a Class 2 felony, officials said. Henry Strasburg is also charged with additional domestic violence-related charges for second-degree assault and harassment, and a charge for possessing drug paraphernalia, sheriff's officials said in the release. Now, my question is, what kind of drug paraphernalia did she have? She had that stuff that make you stab your boyfriend, whatever that is. Nah, you know what? I watched one episode of Stranger Things and I read an article about it, but I never watched it though. But I do plan on watching that They Clone Tyrone movie that you recommended. And I checked out your review too. That was a good review. DJ almost said, what was the race of the victim? I hope it wasn't some thirsty BM. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But one thing that I can tell you is that if you're in a relationship with a woman that looks like Two-Face, you might want to get out of Gotham City. That might be a thought. So now here's a police officer that actually feared for his life. You know how they always say that the police feared for their life? Here's one that actually feared for his life. This dude actually feared for his life. Fountain police officer was intimidated by suspect before falling to his death, records show. So this, I don't know what happened, but this dude scared the shit out the police officer so bad he fell to his death. It's crazy. Never heard anything like it. But it happened. So this guy here, his name is Devin Babane. And he scared the soul out of the police officer, literally. Now the police officer is dearly departed. His soul has left the building. A Pueblo man, look at this. A Pueblo man intimidated Fountain police officer Julian Biserna moments before the officer fell to his death. An arrest affidavit obtained by the Gazette says. So I don't know how that happened or how that occurred, but it did. And shout out to Jab Bad. What's good with it, bro? I don't know how that happened, but apparently it did. Devin Babane, who was 32, was charged with second-degree murder, vehicular eluding, motor vehicle theft, weapon possession by a previous offender, and 2 counts of aggravated robbery for his actions in a car chase that led to the death of Becerra earlier this year. Now, my question is, an officer was deleted in this. And this guy was resisting arrest. Shout out to my man, We Lit. What's good with it, bro? And this dude was resisting arrest. According to the arrest affidavit, the incident began on February 2nd when Fountain police officers were notified of a stolen vehicle being driven by Babane. Once officers located the stolen vehicle, Babane attempted to flee. The affidavit states that Bobain, during the law enforcement pursuit, stopped at a Love's gas station and pointed a handgun at a woman in an attempt to steal her car. But when the woman refused to hand over her keys to Bobain and the two co-defendants, they left the gas station in a stolen vehicle that they arrived in. The pursuit continued until just before 8 p.m. when law enforcement officers were able to stop Bobain on a bridge on South Academy Boulevard, pinning the stolen vehicle between two police cars, according to the affidavit. The affidavit details that Officer Becerra was in one of the vehicles that had pinned the stolen car being driven by Bobain, and that when Becerra exited the car, he was stuck between the guardrail of the bridge and the police vehicle. Bobain attempted to flee on foot, and in doing so, the affidavit states he jumped on the hood of Becerra's car, which is what police claim led to Becerra falling off of the bridge. I don't understand that. Something doesn't sound right. Yeah, I gotta agree. Do you guys agree with Terrence? That's not the normal response when in fear for their safety. No, it's not. I've never heard of any police officer jump off of a bridge. I never heard of a police officer take the option if confronted with a black suspect. I've never heard them take the option to self-delete instead of delete the black person. So this sounds kind of strange. Does this sound strange to you guys? I was gonna say that, but I didn't. But I'm glad somebody said it. I want you guys to let me know if you agree with Terrence. So the cop was more intimidated than the woman at the gas station. It would seem like it. That woman said, "You ain't getting my keys." And she survived. While on top of Officer Burka's vehicle, Bobain stopped, turned toward Officer Burka, standing over the top of him, leaning forward and pointing toward Officer Burka in a threatening manner, the affidavit states. When Bobain was standing on top of Burka's vehicle and facing Officer Barisa, Officer Barisa fell over the guardrail. That doesn't make any sense. So he just collapsed. He was so scared that he just fainted and collapsed and tipped over into the water over the bridge. Just from him pointing, he's pointing his finger, wagging his finger like, "You won't get me." And then poof. Really? That don't even sound right, do it? Did that sound right? I want to see the camera. I want to see the dash cam and the body cams. What's up with the dash cams and the body cams for this? If y'all want to see the dash cams or the body cams for this, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't want to see them, give me a thumbs down. I want to see it. I want to see what happened here. Because I don't understand how, like, the wind from wagging your finger at somebody can just magically position you off of a bridge to fall to your death. Because that's literally the way that it's being written here. Right. Right. We've been doing it wrong the whole time. Instead of running from the police, we should just stand there and point our finger at them. And then they'll just, maybe the next one will jump in front of a bus or something. I don't know. Like, this is weird. So now here it says Bobain was detained by officers shortly after attempting to flee on foot, according to the affidavit. Becerra was immediately taken to the hospital, but later died because of the injuries from the fall. The affidavit states that the El Paso County Coroner's Office ruled Becerra's death as an accident due to the injuries sustained from the fall. The two other people arrested the evening of the incident, Danisha Pacheco, who was 29, and Anthony Vallejos, who was 33, each faced 4 charges: 2 counts of aggravated robbery, menacing, and a violent crime sentence enhancement. Charges against Pacheco and Vallejos followed shortly after the incident took place, but the charges for Bobain took over 4 months to be filled by the district attorney's office. This was an exhaustive investigation involving the sheriff's office and district attorney's office. Fourth judicial spokesperson Howard Black said last week when asked why it took several months for charges to be filed against Bobain. Now, here's my question for you guys. Why did it take several months for charges to be filed against Bobain? I'll tell you why it took several months for charges to be filed against Bobain, because that damn story doesn't make sense. So they had to piece something together to make it stick. That's how. That's how that happened. It's not hard to figure out, not hard to find. You know what I'm saying? But I'm about to see something real quick. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit that bell and subscribe to the channel, make sure you guys hit that bell and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you're not subscribed to my backup channels, make sure you take a moment and subscribe to my backup channels. Okay. Did you guys do the survey for the notification in the chat? After the incident, Bobain was transferred to Pueblo County Jail to face charges on outstanding warrants in unrelated criminal cases. What were they? And why is there always unrelated criminal cases with these individuals? If this dude had extensive criminal records and he had other criminal cases popping off, my question was, why wasn't he in jail to begin with? Why wasn't he in jail to begin with? Court records show that in March, Bobain pleaded guilty to weapons possession by a previous offender in 2 different criminal cases, each charge landing him 18 months in the Department of Corrections. So this dude had a background. Bobain was charged and arrested on 2nd-degree murder on June 30th, according to court records. Bobain is listed as an inmate in Bent County Correctional Facility with a mandatory release date of August 22nd, 2024, according to the Department of Corrections records. As Bobain nears the start of his case in Colorado's 4th Judicial Court, his defendants may be nearing the end of theirs. Pacheco and Vallejos are scheduled to begin their jury trials on August 14th, but will appear in court prior to that on August 2nd for pre-trial conferences. Now, you know his friends set up some type of deal, and they about to snitch on him bad. His friends are about to roll on him. His friends are about to roll hard on him. At their most recent court appearance, an El Paso County judge ruled that Pacheco and Vallejos could not be tied together, but left the door open to the possibility of their cases being combined prior to the trial, depending on if the prosecution opts to use specific evidence or not. Bobain's first appearance in court has yet to be scheduled. His bond to be released from custody is currently listed at $2 million, according to our court records. So there you go. Okay. So now my question for you guys, what do you think about that? I sent this article to Torian and I sent this article to Kid Gravity, and I hope that they do videos about it. But we're going to go over it real quick. I want you guys to tell me what you noted. I want you guys to tell me everything that you noticed about this short video clip here.
Cheerleading coach decided to plant cameras and preyed on a kid. Put it up, full mask. Damn shame. 27-year-old Tennessee man, James Henry. James Henry So has been arrested for committing heinous acts against a minor in the Premier Athletes Training Facility. This is the same cheerleading facility that had an incident that in 2021, where a predatory coach placed cameras in the restrooms and changing areas in Premier, mostly utilized by female minors. According to the report from WSMV, this is not the first time Premier Athletics has been associated with felony criminal activity. Hidden cameras were reportedly found stashed throughout the women's restroom and changing areas in 2021. The digital cameras contain about 60 videos of mostly minor females in various stages of undress.
Now, my question is, when it comes to any of this, was anybody charged? And again, my question is, how come this isn't all over mainstream media? How come Andy Ngo didn't tweet this all over the place on Twitter? Anybody want to tweet my CRIMECAST video and tag Andy Ngo and Jack Placebo in the video? Jack Placebo.
WSMV reported. That former coach was Andrew Halford, who last year pleaded guilty to multiple charges of attempted, especially aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor in connection with the cameras and was sentenced to 24 years in prison. The compliance administrator for Premier said that as soon as they found out about the allegations in March 2023, they removed So from his position and reported the allegations to the Franklin PD. So is currently being held on a $300,000 bond and is scheduled to appear in court on July 26th. Quote, all of the charges were against one victim, 17-year-old female, and occurred during a single encounter. It happened inside of Premier Athletics on Gothic Court, FPD said in the release. An investigation was initiated after the incident was reported in March. Results from that investigation, including an exhaustive review of evidence in the case, were presented to a Williamson County grand jury. Once they returned the charges, they arrested So last night. Prosecutors further alleged that So did inappropriately touch the victim, who did not consent, and in doing so did cause bodily injury to the minor child, according to aggravated sexual exploitation charges. We continue to see these stories.
That's sick. That is extremely sick. Yeah, that's the myth. But we all know that that's a manufactured myth.
We have reported on multiple stories like this. Individuals who are supposed to be in positions of public trust, engaged in some of the most heinous activity you can imagine. We just reported on the story not too long ago where literally police officers were doing the same thing, not only against their female colleagues, but anybody who went inside of that particular changing room. What did the cops do? They blamed the person who already died and said there was an open investigation. At least in this case, there seems to be some level of accountability, at least turning in the right direction. But I gotta say this, for multiple incidents to happen at one facility like this, there seems to be something else going on. And I think maybe we're at the tip of the iceberg of discovery. Why is this happening so much at one facility?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Dr. Rashad Ritchie there. Facts. And I'll tell you what, that's one of the reasons why all these other people are able to get away with all the crimes, because as long as you have everybody staring at us and breathing down our throats, they can get away with murder, literally. And they are getting away with murder, which is why it takes decades to solve them.
And within a relative short amount of time. I got questions. We will follow as the story develops. Jackson, thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
yeah, that's good enough. No offense. It's just good enough. You know what I'm saying? So I think we may have talked about this story in the past, but we're going to go over it again anyway. My question for you guys is, how many times have you heard something like this before? Something like this. Colorado Springs man accused of shooting at a woman and child, and he claimed that he's the victim. So how you the victim if you shot at a woman and a child? What's wrong with you? What's going on with you? You the victim, bro? You shot at some woman and some kids. You the victim, though? If you say so. If you say so. He was the victim. Yeah, you read that right. You definitely read that right. The Colorado Springs man accused of firing multiple shots at a mother and her child during a road rage incident. Where Torian at? I'm gonna put this in the chat for Torian. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna put this in the chat for Torian. Road rage incident. We got some road rage thuggery going on here. The Colorado man accused of firing multiple shots at a mother and her child during a road rage incident claimed that he was the victim of road rage to police after being arrested, according to records obtained by the Gazette. So this guy here feels that he was the victim. What do you guys think about that? Brian Alexander Peterson is this guy's name. 24 years old, was arrested by Colorado Springs police on July 4th. Oh, this is what you do on July 4th, on Independence Day. I mean, goodness gracious. Look what they do in Colorado. They just turn Independence Day into a debauchery. I mean, this is what's going on the streets of Chicago on the day you're supposed to be celebrating freedom and independence. Because, I mean, literally, that's what they said about us on Juneteenth, right? Just saying. Just saying. The arrest affidavit for the incident states that the woman, whose name was redacted from the affidavit, was brake checked by another driver multiple times before the driver of the vehicle took out a handgun and fired 2 shots at her car. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Is that okay to do? Let's just come to a common consensus. Is that normal behavior? Should we be doing that in a frustrating driving situation? If that's normal behavior, and we absolutely should be doing that anytime we get frustrated, give me a thumbs up. If that's not good habit, and we probably should restrain from doing that kind of thing if we get frustrated on the road, give me a thumbs down. It's never a good idea to shoot at somebody in response to something that goes on while you're driving. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to ask. A picture of the shooter's car taken by the victim led police to the home of Peterson, where the car involved in the earlier road rage incident was found by police. According to the affidavit, Peterson was arrested shortly after and claimed that he was the victim. All right, I want you guys to see this. Peterson was arrested shortly after and claimed that he was the victim of road rage on the part of the woman driving the car he shot at, and that he only pulled out his gun because he feared for his life. That just makes it all, I mean, okay, back to business as usual. I mean, all is forgiven. He feared for his life. Now we know why he did it. Go ahead, going back to your daily affairs. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see. Nothing to see. Nothing to see here, folks. You know, that's wild, isn't it? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 20 people watching and we got 17 likes. If everybody can take a moment, smash that like button, share the stream to your social media, hit that bell and follow my other social media and my other YouTube channels and get us over 20 likes. That would be great. If everybody smashes that like button, you'll get us at 27. You actually get us over 30. So let's try to get over 30. So again, I want to make sure that everybody understands this right here. This part right here is key. Peterson was arrested shortly after and claimed that he was the victim of road rage on the part of the woman driving the car he shot at, and that he only pulled out the gun because he feared for his life. So I want you guys to get this straight. He was in a vehicle. He was ahead of this woman. The woman was driving a little too close to him. The woman had a child with her. He was so intimidated and scared by this woman, he felt that he needed to shoot at her in order to maintain his safety. Now, do you think that defense would have stuck if it was a black woman or a black man that he fired at? That's my question for you guys. What do you guys think? Would it have stuck if it was a black woman or a black man that he fired at? Police state within the affidavit that Peterson said he understood that he handled the situation improperly and that he was wrong, but that he thought the woman driving the other car was trying to run him off the road, and that when he yelled at her to pull over, he saw the woman rummaging through her console and thought she was going to produce a firearm. So, I mean, why didn't you just either drive off or pull back? In response, Peterson claimed he fired 2 shots in the air, according to the affidavit. Police state within the affidavit that the 2 bullet holes found on the victim's car were located on the driver's side door in close range of where the victim was seated while driving the vehicle. So this dude lied to the police, said that he shot in the air, and there's 2 bullet holes in the victim's car. This dude lied to the police officer, said that he shot. Now, my question is, how do you shoot the gun in the air and then 2 bullet holes magically end up in the car? How does that happen? What kind of miracle of science created that type of situation there? The victim's 10-year-old child was in the back seat of the car at the time of the shooting. No injuries were reported by any party involved in the incident. Peterson has since been arrested and is now facing 9 charges, including 2 charges of attempted second-degree murder, 2 charges of illegal discharge of a firearm, reckless endangerment, and more. Peterson is being held in El Paso County Jail on $100,000 bond. He will make his first appearance in 4th District Court on Monday. All right, so now my question is, what do you guys think is going to happen to him? What do you guys think is going to happen to him? That's my question. That's my question, guys. Pretty bad, pretty ratchet. Now, I wanted to do more content, right? But I'm tired. But I'm going to do 2 more stories because I think that they're important. Okay. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we talked about this situation on my other channel. But if we didn't, we're going to talk about it today in more detail. All right. My question for everybody is, how many people heard about the Antioch texting scandal case? If you heard about the Antioch texting scandal case, then give me a thumbs up. Did you guys hear about the Antioch texting scandal case? If you guys heard of the Antioch texting scandal case, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't, then give me a thumbs down. Antioch police chief calls texting scandal hate speech and is open to federal oversight. Okay. So we're going to check this out right here because this is important. Let's see. Hold on real quick. Okay, here we go. It's clear now. All police departments have a problem with racism. Let me see. Hold on real quick. This is what we about to do here. All police departments have a problem with racism. Let me see. Hold on real quick. All right, give me 1 second. I got some tech difficulties showing up here. All right, there we go. We should be good now. We should be good now. There we go.
For the recruitment of these executive level positions, we'll obviously add the chief of police position.
Okay.
The Antioch police chief since last November, with more than 30 years of previous experience at the San Francisco Police Department, Stephen Ford announced he plans to retire on August 11th. This comes as his department is being investigated for a racist texting scandal, something the Contra Costa public
Now,
defense.
mind you, this police, I'm going to actually, hold on. You know, we about to do it like this. This police department has a black chief. Okay. There's a black chief of police on this police department. All right. This police department is involved in a racist texting scandal as they sit here with a black police chief. So now what I'm curious about, what the hell is going on here.
I guess the question is, do you think the Antioch Police Department has a problem with racism?
I'm going to say that it's clear now that we know that certain officers participated in certain behavior. I have to believe in my heart of hearts that that does not reflect the entire organization.
Just 1 year into the job, Antioch.
Is he being honest? Did he answer that question appropriately? If he answered that question appropriately, give me a thumbs up. If he took the easy way out and went out like a sucker and went out like a coward, then give me a thumbs down. And if this dude has this limp of a backbone, it makes sense why he would allow his racist subordinates to go around terrorizing black people and other black police officers, because this dude himself is a gutless clown. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think the Antioch Police Department has a problem with racism?
I'm going to say that it's clear now that we know that certain officers participated in certain behavior. I have to believe in my heart of hearts that that does not reflect the entire organization.
Just 1 year into the job, Antioch Police Chief Stephen Ford is in a tough spot, dealing with the fallout of an FBI investigation into his department and a racist texting scandal, both which began before he joined the force.
It is very hurtful. You know, that's without question, that's hate speech. Let's just be clear. There's no need to sugarcoat what that is.
In April, the Contra Costa County District Attorney's Office released 2 reports that revealed a chain of racist, misogynistic, and homophobic text messages.
Okay, so now here's my question for everybody. This is my question for everybody. Does it seem like police reform has been effective? If it seems like police reform has been effective, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't seem like police reform has been effective, give me a thumbs down. So my question is, every time there's one of these incidents, every time the Democrats say that they're working on police reform, why is it that I have so much content on this channel about police departments all over the United States that have changed nothing and continue to get exposed for doing the same thing? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Somebody help me. Somebody help me understand that. Somebody help me to please understand that. Now, Antioch Police Department, if I'm not mistaken, Antioch Police Department is the police department that deleted an AAPI individual that had mental health issues in front of his mom named Angelo Quinto a couple years around the time when George Floyd was deleted. If you guys remember, Professor Black Truth actually did the video, and he was the one that brought that situation to my attention. So shout out to Professor Black Truth for that.
The question is, do you think the Antioch Police Department has a problem with racism?
I'm going to say that it's clear now that we know that certain officers participated in certain behavior. I have to believe in my heart of hearts that that does not reflect the entire organization.
Just 1 year into.
Now, do you guys think that this guy got his job because he's such a coward and they knew that this guy didn't have the backbone, the gall, or the courage to stand up to this kind of stuff? They got this guy because he's a black face and a pushover. If you guys think that that's what they got this guy for, that's what they brought him over here for, then give me a thumbs up. If not, then let me know what's going on.
The job, Antioch Police Chief Stephen Ford is in a tough spot, dealing with the fallout of an FBI investigation into his department and a racist texting scandal, both which began before he joined the force.
It is very hurtful. You know, that's without question, that's hate speech. Let's just be clear. There's no need to sugarcoat what that is.
In April, the Contra Costa County District Attorney's Office released 2 reports that revealed a chain of racist, misogynistic, and homophobic text messages sent by Antioch police officers over a period of almost 2 years. Chief Ford says this goes beyond the culture of the department.
Right now, I'm doing a deep dive into the psychology of the organization. You know, there's 2 things that are apparent.
This dude is doing a deep dive right into the unemployment line so he doesn't have to deal with his own cowardice, allowing these idiots to run rampant and do whatever they want to and create a sundown department that as long as he can get his paycheck, he can't be bothered with anything. Clown. I want y'all to put a whole bunch of clown face emojis in this comment section.
Things that are apparent. A lack of accountability, and
you're the one that's supposed to be holding them accountable. Now, you notice how the news knows how to troll people? As soon as he said there was a lack of accountability, they put his position right up on the screen. As soon as he said lack of accountability, there goes the banner at the bottom of the screen, Antioch Police Chief. Who the hell supposed to hold him accountable if you don't hold him accountable? Facts. If y'all agree with Terrence, turn it into a circus in the comment section. Throw them clown faces up because this guy right here is a clown. His next job should be feeding elephants.
A lack of accountability, and I think there's an undercurrent of neglect that has taken place.
The Contra Costa County Public Defender's Office estimates that 40% of the department may have been involved in the texting scandal. Currently, 38 of the police department's 99 officers are on leave.
Can the Antioch Police Department effectively do its job right now?
Absolutely.
That's almost the whole. Are you serious? All these police officers was involved in that? Now, Myron Gaines just put up that clip where he said that there's no possible way that black people would be oppressed, right? If you have a police department where this many people were involved in racism, there's clearly an existent bias on that police department. So now if they were texting these things amongst themselves in the privacy of the police precincts, my question for you guys is, what were they doing to people when they were out in the street and had authority over people? That's my question. I mean, that's a legitimate question, right? That is a perfectly fair question. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 17 likes and we got 19 people watching. If everybody can take a moment and smash that like button and get us over 20 likes, that would be great.
8 of the police department's 99 officers are on leave.
That's a
Can
whole.
the Antioch
That's damn near 33%. They said 60 out of 90, right? That's 1/3 of the police department.
Involved in the texting scandal. Currently, 38 of the police department's 99 officers are on leave.
Can the Antioch Police Department effectively do its job right now?
Absolutely. So the $64,000 question was 2 weeks ago, do we have the personnel to at least handle calls for service? And
But
we
aside
do.
from personnel, the mindset.
Well, absolutely. Again, the necessary processes are in place. The officers who have been implicated,
But with all due respect, they've always been in place. The laws have always been there.
that is true.
People have worked outside of those laws.
That is true. And let me just back up a little. This is not just germane to.
Now, do you see how the white reporter is giving this guy pushback? Some people need to take notes on that. Would you guys agree? Some people need to take notes on that. Because as much as this police department chief here is a clown, there's way too many who are baseline exactly like this police chief. Now you guys know there's a lot of people, right? There's a lot of people that talk big shit, big loud, but they walking around with their head down, scared to say anything to anybody at their job. They scared to say anything to anybody at a store. They scared to say anything to anybody at a gas station. So it's a lot of people that can talk that big shit in comment sections on YouTube. But if everybody on YouTube was actually talking that big shit that they talk in the comment section, there would already be an automatic change. These motherfuckers will call you all kinds of names on YouTube and say all kinds of shit about you and say all kinds of you coon and all kinds of crazy standards. And they go back to work and say, yes, boss, I'm sorry. I swear I get to work on time next time I come here. Why they so mad in the comment section is because when they look at this guy right here, they see themselves. And they mad about it. So they gotta act like they're the man of steel on social media, when in reality they the man of jello. You know what I'm saying?
The Antioch Police Department. Again, can the Antioch PD
shout out to my man Grease. What's good with it, bro?
Police this city rather in a fair, consistent, and transparent way? We have no choice.
According to Ford, change is already underway, with new policies and procedures being implemented around the use of force, the use of the police dog, and the department's cell phone policies. He adds he's open to federal oversight if that's required, but says he will move the department forward.
At some point, the organization has to move forward. We have to start to, pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and be intentional about getting back into the community and prove.
We have to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. I wonder where he heard that from. I wonder where he got that from. We at this police department with all these racist white people, we got to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. That's one thing it's one thing we got to do over here. The police department might not survive if we don't pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. Really, bruh? Really, clown?
Up by the bootstraps and being
Really, clown? I ain't trying to be, man. Listen, man, I'm not trying to be funny. I wouldn't put money. I would put money on it. I guarantee you, this guy has never had a leaf of collard greens in his life. Never. Never. Never.
we have to start to, pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and be intentional about getting back into the community and proving to the community that we are not the organization that we appear to be.
In Antioch, Ansar Hassan, ABC7.
Bro, he ain't never had no cornbread. He ain't never had no red beans and rice. This the type of clown that shaves the green beans instead of cutting them up and putting bacon in them. You are a whole clown, bro. You are a whole clown. You are a Waldorf salad eating idiot. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you where they find them at Whole Foods, Greach. That's where they find them at. They sit outside of Whole Foods, and when they see a black person to come out of Whole Foods, they safe to we'll come and recruit this individual here. That's where they get them from, Whole Foods. Buying a whole bunch of bird seed and shit, then talking about they about to make a high protein muffin or something. That's where they get these clowns at, Whole Foods or the mustard seed. This shit is ridiculous right here. Now this clown, this idiot said all this nonsense, and then his dumb ass sat up there and retired.
After serving as the Antioch police chief since last November with more than 30 years of previous experience at the San Francisco Police Department, Stephen Ford announced he plans to retire on August 11th. This comes as—
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, I think I'm going to take my own advice, and I'm going to pull myself out by the bootstraps. I'm going to pull myself right out this job, right out the front door by my bootstraps, and I'll holler at y'all later. With old in tube socks, with the tube socks with a double stripe on it. He got military stripes on his tube socks and got them pulled all the way up with some boat shoes tied tightly. This dude is a tight tied boat shoe wearing clown. Wearing a plastic Lacoste jacket in the middle of the summer. You know he got out of a Dodge Caravan at that.
As his department is being investigated for a racist texting scandal, something the Contra Costa public defenders—
Yeah, I have this problem. I'm the chief here at Antioch Police Department, and we had some issues in the department. Some of the guys, they were, on their phones and saying some things that were, a bit inappropriate. And honestly, we have 30 guys now. They're off. They're off duty, and our labor is down a little bit because we're not working at full capacity. But I hope we can just I hope we can just move forward and pull ourselves up by bootstraps. And I think I'm gonna after this interview is a little bit too much. I think I sweated the creases out of my clothes, and I'm gonna have to stop down to HR after this, and go ahead and cash out that PTO and cash out that good state retirement plan, and just get up out of here. I think the sun is set on my career here at Antioch Police Department. Man, shut your silly ass up. Shut your dumb ass up. If you hadn't got caught, you would have still been sitting there sucking up a paycheck, letting everybody get racially abused on your squad, idiot.
I wonder what hospital this dude goes to that they was able to remove his spine without leaving scars.
After serving as the Antioch police chief since last November with more than 30 years of previous experience at the San Francisco Police Department, Stephen Ford announced he plans to retire on August 11th. This comes as his department is being investigated for a racist texting scandal, something the Contra Costa public defender says 40% of the force in Antioch are believed to be involved in. Chief Ford did not give a reason.
40%. 40%. How do you miss that? How do you miss it? How do you miss that? And 40%. And this dude say, I don't really think that there's a, I don't think that there's a racism problem here. Really? I don't know if he was facing any racist abuse, Jab. To be honest, I ain't trying to be funny, but like, I don't know this dude like that. Honestly, I think that he was probably letting the racist abuse slide so that he could keep his job. And honestly, for real, he was probably getting in on it. Man, you know, people like these, they be the ones, these people are trash, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a special kind of garbage, you know what I'm saying? First and foremost, to allow this kind of nonsense. And second of all, you know what I'm saying? These kind of clowns here, this the dummy that when somebody make a racist joke will be rolling all over the floor, getting lint all on his police outfit, busting his back, laughing at the joke just to get a pat on the head by them clowns that's not even the chief. They are his subordinates. You know what I'm saying? He probably got along his entire life doing that. He probably got all of his CEUs in continuing education and proper form of ass kissing. And I mean, why are you kissing ass, my dude? You're the boss. Or are you? Or are you just a puppet? Your desk just says boss on it. Because you know that 30%, you know that 30% of the police department that's involved in this, or that 40% of the police department that's involved in this scam, if he said anything, they'd have got his ass up out of here. So you know he was cheering them on for his own job security. This dude, I guarantee you, he himself, he was part of the racist abuse. If you sit there and work with 40% of people that are racist and you don't do shit about it, you're part of the racist abuse. He could have quit. You know what I'm saying? He could have quit. See, is this kind of shit? See, a lot of people have a lot of different shit that they pick on, right? That they pick with. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, this is the kind of shit that I pick with and pick on right here. This shit. You know what I'm saying? You're in a position of power, dude. You're in a position where you can make a difference, and you sat your bald-headed ass there and didn't do a damn thing about it, and now you running like a bitch to retire. This dude is the kind of dude that will be the black dude that will be there while them white police officers deleting somebody in the middle of the street and not do shit or help them cover up some shit on paperwork. You know what I'm saying? That's why his punk ass retiring right now. They about to find some shit on his ass. Internal Affairs about to find how he was involved in this shit too with his stupid ass. That's why he running out the door real fast. So that he can hurry up and get on retirement so they can't take him off without off of paid administrative leave. You know what I'm saying? This the kind of dude that is in a position. See, everybody ain't in a position to make shit better. You know what I'm saying? It's a different story. See, like I always sit there and say, like, you know, I don't think it's fair to expect every single black person to be expected to be a hero. I don't think it's fair. I don't have that requirement. I understand some people got to work. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the person that's sitting up here saying do all this crazy ass shit. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that if you are in a position, like, bro, you don't even have to, like this dude right here, he didn't even have to be pro-black. Ain't nobody sitting up there telling you to get a B1 patch ironed onto your damn uniform. Nobody's saying to do that. If you simply followed the rules and held the officers accountable, you know what I'm saying? That's the only shit that I'm asking. But you willingly chose not to do that. Nobody asked you to get a black fist tattooed on yourself or get a black fist with a badge number ironed onto your outfit. It might be other people out there on YouTube that believe that you should do that, or if you don't do that, you just ain't real. But that's not me. I only expect you to be reasonable. And allowing and sitting there and allowing that many police officers to be comfortable with policy violations is crazy. It's crazy. It puts everybody at risk. You put every black person on that police department at risk. You put the black people in the community at risk. And on top of it, you know, we got to do the everybody thing. They put the entire community at risk because you don't let these motherfuckers run amok that they got comfortable talking this crazy shit so much. Now, just instantaneously, they done lost 40% of the police officers. So there's no way that they could possibly patrol effectively, which they weren't patrolling effectively anyway if they were walking around with a racial bias. Racist texts are against policy. Simple as that. Simple as that. Nobody told you to sit down and teach motherfuckers about Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or, you know what I'm saying, you know, define white supremacy for motherfuckers or anything. Nobody asked you to do any of that shit. Do your job is the only shit that motherfuckers ask. Because if you do your job and you do your job effectively, where you're checking people that are doing fuck shit, by default, the people that are doing fuck shit, you would be protecting the people that need to be protected. And you chose to not do that. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. Which is crazy. Simply asking this dude to do his damn job as the chief of police is too damn much. Matter of fact, asking him to do his job is so much that he retired the next day. So my question is, when you're forced to do your job, you retire, what were you doing your entire career? They need to do an internal review of his entire career. Anything with his signature on it needs to be reviewed. You said, do I believe in justice? No, I don't believe. In justice, I don't believe that in this world right now, unless we decide to just make sudden drastic changes, probably all of which would take some force and some involuntary coercion. I don't think justice is possible unless we make those kind of moves or unless we get our power right. Because as long as this system that's not designed to provide justice for us is what's determining what justice is, I don't see how that's possible. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's been programmed to believe that if we get a certain verdict, it's quote unquote justice. Oh, that was a question for the chief of police. Okay. Oh, I'm sure he thinks it's justice. He said that he didn't think that the police department was racist, despite the fact that 40% of them are off from their involvement in this scandal. Now, here's another question for everybody that I'm curious about. How many people had heard about this prior to this live stream? If you heard about this prior to the live stream, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't hear about this, give me a thumbs down. If this is brand new to you, give me a thumbs up. Now, this is a wide sweeping police scandal. where damn near half the police force is involved. Why aren't we hearing about it on the mainstream media? Why didn't the New York Post hit this up? How come Kamala Harris and Joe Biden haven't said anything? What's going on with the corrupt police in California? This was the same Justice Department that Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States, used to work for. She should at least have a statement about this, something. Again, simply expecting people to do their job. Nobody asking you to give us an AKA step show. I'm just asking you to do your damn job. You know what I'm saying? But again, we're asking people to do their job. We're asking people to do their job. See, because like you don't have to go to the extreme with shit in certain places. You know what I'm saying? You can just simply do your job. But a lot of these people are too scared to do their job. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 22 people watching and we got 18 likes. Smash that like button and get us over 20. Help your boy out. We almost there. Smash that like button and get us over 20. And also, if you guys haven't shared the stream to your social media, take a moment, tweet this, retweet it, post it on Facebook, post it on Reddit.
And why he's planning to retire. But in a statement, he said, in part, I am proud of what we have accomplished and firmly believe the groundwork has been laid for organizational success. I know our work to align us with the tenets of procedural justice and constitutional policing will keep this department headed in the right direction. I sincerely hope our engagement with the community will continue and flourish. Here's Antioch Mayor Lamar Thorpe.
I can't speak to why he's leaving other than I don't have context and I'll talk to him. But
and the mayor is black too. Man, the chief of police is black. The mayor is black. The people who are supposed to have the positions of power in this community are black. And look at what they are allowing. If they're allowing this, then that means that they're facilitating this. Shout out to my man Alonzo. Alonzo said YouTube talking about I only got 10 likes. Y'all know YouTube be doing me dirty.
what I can tell you is that the racist text messaging scandal, just brings to light what we're trying to uproot here and the challenges that this city has faced for a long, long time that hasn't wanted to deal with face to face. And so we're dealing with it. It causes turbulence.
Thorpe asked for the community's patience as
oh man, yo. We might have to check out Thorpe on that LGTV channel. That brother got a runway stride, don't he? That brother got the runway stride, don't he? YouTube talking about I only got 16 likes. Now they talking about I only got 18. Help your boy out. Smash that like button. Get us over 20. Yep, that's what it's saying. 18. It's 23 people watching, and we got 18 likes. Everybody smash that like button.
Causes turbulence.
Thorpe.
You know what I'm about to do? I'm finna start doing like other content creators do. I'm gonna make a clip out of this dude walking, and I'm gonna put some disco music to it, and it's gonna be on repeat. And I'm gonna play that shit until y'all get the likes up to where they need to be. You shouldn't have to do shit like that. But Kevin Samuels did it. You know what I'm saying? And he grew to 1 million subscribers. And you got to follow the model that works. You know what I'm saying? You got to follow the model that works. When people don't cooperate, you know what I'm saying? You got to force the hand. You know what I'm saying? Look at this.
For the community's
Look at that.
patience.
Yeah, y'all keep not liking that shit. I got some videos that's processing right now. I'll make time for this right here. See, I had planned on doing a Reacts live stream tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Maine. What's good with it, Maine? I had planned on doing a Reacts live stream. I'll cut some horrible video clips up for y'all. I'll cut the worst videos up that y'all could possibly. I'm talking about shit that y'all ain't even heard of yet.
Turbulence.
Thorpe asked for the community's patience as they navigate these challenges, but said the city will continue to deliver on the basic services promised.
Well, we are moving forward because we are going to have a recruitment for a national search for a city.
Yeah, did you see how that neck moved right there? That neck and that walk confirmed. That neck and that walk confirmed. He talks very different off camera. And shout out to the brother because he's very professional and articulate. He talks different off camera. You know what I'm saying? He's a real one in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jab Bad. Jab Bad said we had 19. We need one more like. Actually, I mean, as many more likes as there are. I don't hound people down for donations. The only shit that I ask, I don't even go live on my monetized channels that often. You know what I'm saying? I go live more on my non-monetized channels, and I just ask people to give free likes. Come on, man. This dude is a real one, but not the way that we use, not a quote unquote traditional real one. He's a modern real one.
It's promised.
Well, we are moving forward because we are going to have a recruitment for a national search for a city manager. We are bringing on a consultant firm for the recruitment of these executive level positions. We'll obviously add the chief.
He had to. He got a hairball, and I don't know where that hair came from, but he got a hairball. He had to cough it up real quick. He said, "We need to." Did y'all catch that right there? Look at his neck turn like that. We had to. There you go, right there. Hi.
To deliver on the basic services promised.
Well, we are moving forward because we are going to have a recruitment for a national search for a city manager. We are bringing on a consultant firm for
right there.
A consultant firm for the recruitment.
What you just eat, bro?
We are bringing on a consultant.
Oh man, what'd you just eat, homie? You had one of them Polish boys, didn't you? With the onions and sauce on it. He just ate an onion and sauce Polish boy, or he had one of, or he had a magnum sized Bratwurst minus the bun.
Firm for the recruitment of these executive level positions. We'll obviously add the chief of police position on that as well. So, you know, we've been preparing for any changes as they happen.
Antioch City Council member Mike Barbanica said the news caught him by surprise.
I have worked with Chief Ford.
You're lying. This dude is straight lying. See, I'm gonna tell you something. Like, I don't know what happens, but like when you start talking to white people who get down with racism like that, like they will literally, like, they do that shit that Donald Trump does, where they just answer, they completely avoid the question and just start talking about something else. You'd be like, yeah, so you know, there's been a racism issue on the force for about 3 years. Our force just got a new order of Desert Eagles for standard issue. We've been practicing with them using targets issued from the U.S. military. Our efficiency is up 90%. And, you know, if you have any other questions or, you know, things that you need to get in touch with us about, you're going to need to contact the chief. Like, what? I didn't ask you shit about any of that. You see that long pause? That long pause was him thinking of whatever bullshit it was that he was about to say. He said, hey. And then he goes into his bullshit. Look, watch. Oh, here go my dude right here. Shout out to my dude right here. He's a good sport.
as they happen.
Antioch City Council member Mike Barbanica said the news caught him by surprise.
I have worked with Chief Ford since he came to the city of Antioch. He's a good chief. And
Well, that tells you everything you need to know. He's a good chief. This guy saying it. Just like how Thomas Sowell, Candace Owens, and Officer Tatum are good black people. So, red flag. There's very few people that'll be giving me a pat on the head. Now, people will tell you that I'm very smart, but they're not going to give me a pat on the head. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know Rob. Yeah. He's smart. And then they'll just say, and then they'll say a whole bunch of shit that they think that I could be or should be doing. I don't do what you think I could or should be doing. I do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody else should. I don't care what you think I should be doing. I'm going to do what I want to do. I think that I should be doing the opposite of everything that you think I should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Carlton crazy. Carlton said these white folks have interesting last names. Barbanica. I wonder his first name, Thundar.
now it's time for us to start the process to bring in a chief that is going to come in and deal with the issues that are occurring within the department and make Antioch a safer place.
No interim chief has been named. Barbanica says while this unfolds, City Council will be taking the matter of public safety very seriously, with staffing levels on the force top of mind.
I have again requested that the police department come in and give a report on staffing levels to ensure public safety and public transparency, communication to the public to allow the public to understand what we learn and what our staffing levels are for all of the divisions within the department.
In Antioch, Lena Howland, ABC 7 News.
So there's that. So that's what's going on in Antioch, California. Okay. Not thrilled. Not thrilled. Now, we're going to talk about one last thing. Then we're going to get out of here. And I don't know when the next time is going to be that I'm going to be doing another CRIMECAST. So make sure you guys check out the clips that I put up. Actually, I might be doing a CRIMECAST sooner than I think. We'll see. It depends on how much time I got because there's other stuff I want to talk about. Carlton say, I've never met an FBA with the last name Barbanica. Those the people that got them type of last names, you a barbarian, you know. That's a special kind of white person that probably didn't own slaves, but they're probably worse than anybody that ever owned slaves. You know what I'm saying? Just from the nature of the last name. I mean, it's like that where somebody just decided to that's just gonna be your last name, like you motherfucking barbarian. Like for real, bro. Ah, damn. You know what I'm saying? Colorado Springs man who deleted Air Force veteran will not be released from state hospital. Why is he not in the state penitentiary? Why is he in the state hospital? Let's start there. Why is he not in the state penitentiary? All right, that's like if somebody's last name was Berserker and shit. Like, oh, the fuck was your ancestors doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, you know, you come from some cold-blooded motherfuckers. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? God damn, you know what I'm saying? You got a natural born killer in your DNA. Shit. God damn, you know what I'm saying? Can I buy one of you and put it outside my house to keep it safe? I live in the hood. Shit, you know what I'm saying? God damn. Oh man, motherfuckers be having dog last names like Scott Terrier and shit. Motherfucker, what? You know what I'm saying? The fuck? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all talking all that monkey and ape shit, but I don't know no black people that got the same last names as no motherfucking terriers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Nathan Labrador, you know what I'm saying? Like, what went on there? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. I don't know no Tyrone Rottweilers out here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anybody like that. I know a couple people got the last name Retriever. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple motherfuckers out there got the last name Grizzly. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Fuck? Wolf? How many wolves are there? You know what I'm saying? Well, wasn't some of these motherfuckers named after a gang of wolves and shit? Wasn't Mozart's first name Wolfgang or some shit? How many motherfucking Germans got the first name Wolfgang? Fuck you mean again, what were your ancestors doing? Wolfgang is what like your clan was known for? Y'all was out here banging with wolves and shit? Wolfgang, nigga? There's no one in now see, you know, people be using racial slurs and shit, you know what I'm saying, like using the word hyena and shit, but I don't know any black people or any Africans out there named like Umbuku Hyena Gang. Like it ain't, there's none of that. You know what I'm saying? But there are but there are some motherfuckers out there with the last name Wolf. I'm just saying. They got them legends of the werewolves and shit, you know what I'm saying? Eastern Europe. I mean, this is all factual shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like we got motherfuckers that name themselves that shit like that as a nickname. You know what I'm saying? You got motherfuckers like Snoop Dogg and Nate Dogg, but that shit ain't on their birth certificate. This shit on y'all birth certificate. This Wolf shit. You know what I'm saying? Michael Wolf. Nobody ever thought along the lines they was doing all that name changing to change that shit to human. But whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Hey, look. Like I said, I'm one of the most liberal, accepting, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers out there. But I mean, I just be asking questions and shit. And the reason I just be asking questions and shit is because people come at us as if this kind of shit is fact. You're an animal. Okay, motherfucker, your last name is Wolf. The fuck? Somebody married somebody or something somewhere along the line. You can call black people apes and monkeys and gorillas as much as you want. But there's nobody that has ape, monkey, or gorilla on their birth certificate. There are some people that have canine names on their birth certificates, though. And some people really, really like their canines. I'm just saying. So if we're going to do that, let's do that. But as usual, with any conversation, it's going to be a difficult one. Not a difficult one for me. I'm just saying. You know? Nobody ever asked that. Why y'all motherfuckers got all these damn animal last names and shit? Y'all ain't the only ones that be around animals. Everybody be around animals. Yeah. There are. Yeah, facts. There's a lot, especially in the South. How many black people have animal last names? And then I find it interesting that they got the snacks called quote unquote animal crackers. So if you're a Caucasian and your last name is Wolf or Coon, what does that make you? That makes you come inside of a bag of snacks. But they're sitting here calling us gorillas and monkeys. And they can sit there and say whatever they want. I know some black people that had a last name. We got the last name of Wolf or Coon or any of that shit because your family owned somebody along the lines of our family or graped somebody along the lines. Not because that was our last name. Our last name was some shit that had 30 syllables that we couldn't probably even pronounce. And then y'all start doing sick shit like cutting people's limbs off until they said whatever name y'all told them to say. Oh, but I forgot. Just Pearly Thing said that was a quote unquote embellishment. I mean, I'm just saying. Some people got the last name Shepherd too. I mean, that's a little bit better. I mean, that you didn't take the last, but there are now. What's interesting is there's some people got the last name Lamb. I mean, this is a real thing. I'm not making it. You know what I'm saying? Like there is nothing made up about anything that I'm saying. This entire stream is non-fiction. If you want to sit there and call me some kind of a primate while your last name is a canine, I'm just sitting there staring at you and questioning your understanding of the animal kingdom. Carlson Wayne said this is an interesting topic. It is. It's very interesting, especially it's too bad that we didn't have this conversation when talking about some of the crimes on this channel. Because if we talk about that topic with some of the crimes on the channel, everything would make a little bit too much sense. You know what I'm saying? If we had this conversation on certain streams, some shit might make just a little bit too much sense. You know what I'm saying? Might make just a little bit too much sense. Oh man, that shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. Let me shut up, man. I'm sitting up here clowning around. Look at this. Here goes another one. This motherfucker look like DJ Khaled right here, and he's another one. A Colorado Springs man found not guilty by reason of insanity for killing an Air Force veteran in 2016 has had his petition to be released from the state hospital denied by an El Paso County judge. So this dude pled guilty for reason of insanity. According to previous reporting from the Gazette, Haggins, who has schizophrenia, turned violent after going off of his medications. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity in the deleting of a retired Air Force tech, Sergeant David Stetchman, in August of 2016. Haggins was accused of breaking into Stetchman's home in Falcon before stabbing and strangling him. After leaving Stetchman's home, Haggins allegedly entered another house shouting, "I am here to slaughter the lambs." There go that lamb shit. Before he was eventually stopped by a Good Samaritan. So we had a whole little Bible reenactment happen. Lamb's blood and Good Samaritans and shit. Somebody caught the spirit, and somebody caught a body too. 4th Judicial District Judge Teresa Ciceros handed down her insanity acquittal for Hagans in February of 2018 at a bench trial lasting less than an hour, according to previous reporting from the Gazette. I'm sorry, I don't think that this guy should have been found guilty by reason of insanity. I'm sorry, I just don't. And how did they figure this out in less than an hour? They looked over his entire mental history in just an hour. Now, my thing is, where was other period? He didn't kill anybody in other periods when he was quote unquote off his meds. And my question is, how do they know that he was off his meds? Did they do a blood level test of any of his medications that he was supposed to be on? What medications was he supposed to be on? What meds was he taking? She based her verdict on the sole witness, Dr. Thomas Gray of the state hospital, who told the court that a lengthy evaluation by state psychiatrists had concluded that Hagans didn't know the difference between right and wrong and wasn't capable of forming a criminal intent necessary for convictions. That's bullshit. That right there is bullshit. And that doctor ought to be ashamed of himself. That you're supposed to have that. You're supposed to take a Hippocratic oath. In Hagen's June appearance in court, Dr. Jennifer Bundrick testified that her examination found Hagans was qualified for conditional release from the state hospital. The prosecution and several of Steckman's family members strongly opposed Hagans' release. He, Hagans, made the choice to stop his medications. Facts. Which means that if he made the choice to stop his medications, knowing the responsibility that he has to take his medication, he knows what could happen subsequently. And as a result, he's proximately responsible for those crimes, period. Now, if you can't afford your medication, you can check into one of those places. Get 24-hour observation and evaluation, or you can pink slip yourself to the police. There's no excuse for this. That's a great question, John. And that's just something else for us to put in the notebook, and that's something else that we'll be tracking. You know what I'm saying? We're going to track all of this stuff. Now, what I want to know is I want to know the criteria and what she used to form her opinion about this. That's what I want to know. Debbie Steckman, David Steckman's sister-in-law, said at the June hearing, it concerns me that he could be in a situation where he can stop taking his medicine again. I mean, it should concern everybody. Clearly, he turns into a deranged killer when he's off his meds. So clearly he needs to be in an environment where his meds are enforced. If you become violent to where you can delete somebody when you stop taking your meds, you need to be in an environment. If you can't be trusted to take your meds, you need to be in an environment where you're forced to take your meds. I'm sorry. People may disagree with that. I don't care if people disagree with that. I guarantee you this family disagrees with losing their family member before their time. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? It's insane. Prosecutor Jennifer Veman said of Hagen's request to be released from the hospital. It's a horrifying concept to put him on a conditional release. For one, he doesn't need to be on a conditional release. If he gets released from that hospital, he needs to be immediately retried. And what they need to do when they retry him is figure out how much responsibility he had for the decision of stopping his meds, and a partial sentence be given based on the fact that if they want to do it like that, then that's at the least negligent homicide. because you were negligent to take your meds and your negligence led to the loss of somebody else's life. You should not get to skirt out of the hospital onto the street. No, 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 and no. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Judge Lynn Billings Vila, in a written order obtained by the Gazette, said that, hold on real quick. I just got to back this up. Okay, so check this out, right? I'm going to give you my logic on this. Doing drugs is when your normal state is sober and you have to take drugs to be not sober. So if you are sober, when you take drugs, your brain behaves like you have a mental issue, correct? Now, if you have a mental disease, it's the opposite of doing drugs. You're on a normal state, not sober, and then when you take your drugs, you're normal, right? So in both situations, you have control over your normal state. If you're a mental person and you're not sober as baseline, and then you take your drugs to make you sober, that's a choice. Now, the first time when the disease is first discovered, it may not be a choice, but if you have an existing diagnosis of it, then you know that you have a diagnosis of it. If it's the first time and you just developed it, so you say, for instance, you develop some schizophrenia, or say, for instance, you develop some PTSD, that's a different story, but that only holds up one time until after you see somebody clinical. After you see somebody clinical, it's a wrap. Every other time is your responsibility. Now, if you're a person that does drugs, you operate regularly sober, and then you take drugs that make you present as if you have a mental disorder, right? So basically, these are opposite situations of each other. So by this logic, somebody that chooses to not take their medication can get off from going to jail, but somebody that gets high as fuck or drunk as fuck can still get in trouble for murder if they hit somebody in a vehicular homicide, but they didn't know what they were doing because they were on drugs. Their mental state was changed because they were on drugs. Make it make sense. One's mental state can be changed because they're off drugs. The other can be changed because it's on drugs. But in both episodes of where the mental state is changed by choice, one gets treated different than the other. No, all that shit needs to get treated the same. If you have a mental disorder and you don't take your drugs, you're not taking your drugs to be in an inebriated state. If you don't have a mental disorder and you do take drugs, you're taking drugs to be in an inebriated state. Those cancel each other out, and they all need to be tried the same. And when I present that argument to people, there's literally nobody can debunk that. So my question is, why is it that these doctors and physicians and the American Psychological Association allows this nonsense? But again, we're talking about the same people that say that MAP is a mental condition. Everything is a mental condition. Sleeping is a mental condition. Being happy is a mental condition. Like, get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If you have a functional brain, you are constantly in a mental condition. The only people that are not in mental conditions are vegetables who are hooked up to IVs and ventilators who have no body function and no brain activity. If you have no brain activity, then you have no mental condition. If you have brain activity, then you're constantly in a state of mental condition. You know what I'm saying? And again, something else that's undebunkable, but they won't say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But they don't take any effort to try to make it make sense whatsoever. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody watching. If you guys haven't smashed the like button, take a moment, make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, make sure you guys hit the bell and subscribe to the channel. Also, help spread the word. Please share this channel to your social media and subscribe to my backup channels. So now here it says Judge Lynn Billings Vila, in a written order obtained by the Gazette, said that while there is clear evidence, look at this, there's clear evidence that Hagen has made significant progress in the state hospital, she should not grant his conditional release. If this guy gets released, again, to me, he needs to be retried on the basis that his decision to stop taking his drugs contributed to the negligence that led to the murder. That led to the murder, led to the homicide. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And it's okay if you don't agree with my logic. You know what I'm saying? That's just a theory that I got. You know what I'm saying? But I think that that's the most logical explanation for any of that. You don't get, like, again, you don't get to skirt responsibility. Like, say, for instance, if you don't take your mental health medication, you become a threat. You become dangerous. The same dedication that you have to maintaining your mental health, you also have to maintaining your physical health. If you just decide to forget to drink water or you decide to forget to eat, eventually you'll have organ failure or you will die of dehydration. It's the same thing. If you're diabetic and you don't maintain your blood sugar levels, you're going to have all kinds of issues. Like, it's part of a responsibility. Nowhere in here, the only thing that it says here, the only thing that it says here is that this dude, let me see, hold on. It says that he wasn't capable of forming criminal intent. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to have. Let me ask you guys a question. Is there criminal intent when a drunk driver hits somebody? Are they like chasing people down to run them over? Drunk drivers drive and cause accidents, and they cause the issues that they cause because they have self-inebriated their mental condition to where they're no longer sober. Which means that they probably didn't mean to kill somebody, kill themselves, or cause property damage. They did it because their brain wasn't functioning because of drug abuse. Drug of choice that they abused was alcohol. You know what I'm saying? There's no criminal intent because drinking alcohol is not illegal. However, driving while drinking alcohol is illegal, and that's the only thing that was criminally intended on. That person did not go out and criminally intend to kill anybody. That person intended to drive illegally. But however, because of their negligence, they get charged for murder. So it don't matter if there was no criminal intent. Your negligence led to a murder. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand how it is or why it is that they just don't make these arguments in court. I don't understand why these judges accept this nonsense. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, of great concern to the court, however, is the fact that this progress has all been accomplished in a system which is specifically designed to ensure that the defendant continues to comply with the requirements of his treatment, Billings Vila wrote in her court order. Billings Vila goes on to write that some of the rules broken by Hagens while at the state hospital, which included having inappropriate photos on his phone and using the computer in an unauthorized way, also presented a concern to the court. What kind of intent was there? I mean, did he not have intent for that shit? I mean, seems like he knows how to do devious shit. And he was being treated while he was doing that. So now we got to ask the question, well, if he's being treated and he's doing this kind of deviant shit and not following rules, what's to say that he's not going to be baseline like that? I mean, like, why can't we say that? Why can't we ask that question? I think that that's a fair and normal question to ask. So now here it says, while these instances of rule breaking were characterized as minor or trivial, when the consequences of a potential deviation from a defendant's medication treatment regime could be as potentially disastrous and horrific as the events that led up to the charges of the case, no deviation from the treatment plan can be considered minor. Billings Vila wrote. Facts. So if a med tells you to take one Geodone tablet twice a day, and he thinks that he can skirt the rules that's written on the bottle the same way he's skirting the rules about the computer, and he decides to take 2 Geodone every 3 days because taking it one day every day is just too much, that could cause him to have mental health issues too. It's clear that this dude can't follow instructions. And when you're on medications, one of the key things that you have to do is be responsible and follow instructions. That's concerning. Would you guys, if you guys agree with me that that's concerning, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree and you don't feel that that's concerning, then give me a thumbs down. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we still are stuck at 19 likes. We got 24 people in here watching, and we got 19 likes. There is no super chat available on here. Nobody's asking for a super chat. Nobody's asking for a Cash App. I'm simply asking people to like the video to move it in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? There's content creators out there that if people don't subscribe, if people don't become members, if people don't hit their Cash Apps and shit like that, they'll stop the stream and shit. They'll shut the motherfucker down. I don't even do that shit. Like I said, half the time, I don't even stream on my monetized channels. All I ask people to do is if you actually fuck with this shit, if you actually agree with the shit that I'm saying, or even if you don't agree, if you like the content, hit the like button. It's been over 20 people in here, multiple points. We should be way over 20 likes. You know what I'm saying? And then when people ask those questions, they be like, we don't have any large outlets. We don't have any media outlets. You know what I'm saying? We don't have this. We don't have that. People don't have that shit because they motherfuckers won't do the bare minimum. You can't sit there and criticize that police chief for not being Superman and cleaning up a racist police department where 40% of the police was racist, and then sitting there acting like a clown. Can't criticize him because even though he sat there like a clown, cleaning up a police department is a lot more difficult than likes, which would help move something in the algorithm. And people won't even do that. And that's that shit that I'm talking about. That's that exact same shit that I'm talking about. People be talking that big shit on YouTube and shit, and then go to work and be like, yes, boss, with the head down all day. Like, like King Riches on that drop that Mike TV made. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. When he was working with Pearly. Now he said, I quit, boss. I quit, boss. So smash that like button, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the only shit that I ever asked. Smash the like button, follow the backup channels, share the video. That's it. Anything else is all voluntary. That's the only shit I asked. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We are finally at 20. What now? Was that hard? Let's just take a moment and woosah. Was that hard? That was not difficult. Just like that motherfucking police officer doing his job wouldn't have been that difficult either. Oh, you already know it's the haters, Jab. You already know it's the haters. And you know what I'm saying? Like, why do people, I don't understand. Why do people hate watch shit? Do a reaction video. Restream the shit. You know what I'm saying? You just motherfuckers should be sitting there watching. I'm gonna sit there and watch this bullshit. I don't like this shit. I tell man, shout out to the hate watchers because y'all living that life I want to live. I swear to God, I wish I had. I am so jealous of hate watchers, man. Shout out to the hate watchers. Whatever y'all doing in life, y'all doing it right. Y'all are doing it right for real. Whatever it is that y'all doing that allows y'all to have that much time that you can spend watching a 3-hour live stream of somebody that you can't stand, and you got the whole rest of your day to do whatever it is that you want to do or whatever it is that you need to do. Shouts out to you. I'm trying to get like you. I'm trying to have that hate watcher time management skill. Like hate if time management mastery was a video game, hate watchers would be the last boss. Them motherfuckers the last boss after you thought that you beat the boss. Here come a hate watcher. You done finally beat Dr. Wily. You done finally beat King Koopa. You done finally beat Donkey Kong. You know what I'm saying? You done finally beat the big brain thing on Metroid and shit. Here come a hate watcher coming out. You thought you was done with the game. Here come a hate watcher. Uh-huh. You done beat all these motherfuckers, and nah, here I am. I'm the big boss. I sit here and watch your shit and don't do shit. Man, I'm jealous. Man, if I was Mr. Beast, they'd be smashing that like button. They'd be sharing it to their social media. Bro, they'd be hitting them hearts down there in the bottom quarter. They'd be killing it and buying the candy bars and super chatting. And Mr. Beast wouldn't do nothing but be like, I'm about to jump in this swimming pool full of balloons and then send y'all $20. Hey, but Mr. Beast, hey, I ain't mad at Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast doing what Mr. Beast supposed to do. I ain't mad at it. I'm trying to get there. So now here it said, and again, thank you and shout out to everybody that hit that like button. I appreciate it. While Billings Vila ruled against Hagen's release from the state hospital, she did grant Hagen's with privileges of supervised visits off hospital grounds, which members of Hagen's treatment team testified in June was the next step forward in Hagen's treatment plan. Notably, the two members of Hagen's treatment team who testified at the June hearing did not advocate for Hagen's conditional release from the state hospital. Now, why would that's an interesting piece of information. The people at the state hospital didn't ask for anything. Carlton Way said, I have an idea who's hate watching. I bet I got an idea who's hate watching too. And like I said, restream the shit. You know what I'm saying? Restream the shit. But again, you know what I always say. A lot of folks are like Ohio State. You know how Ohio State, anytime they go out of the Big Ten, they get waxed. Don't go out your division and get smashed. You know what I'm saying? Don't fuck around and beat Ohio State coming at Stanford. Don't be no Big Ten team coming at no Pac-10 motherfucker. Don't do that shit. That's how people get career-ending injuries before they go to the pros. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't be motherfucking community college talking about you want to go 5-on-5 with Duke. Don't do it. Clemson facts. Facts, AJ. What's good with it, bro? Don't do it. I'd be warning people, man. YouTube talking points get you waxed in real life. I'm real life. The world is correct. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, as a result of Billings Vila's ruling, Hagen's will remain at the state hospital with the exception of supervised visits off hospital grounds with hospital staff members. So my question for you guys is, why do you all feel that the members on Hagen's treatment team didn't advocate for Hagen's conditional release? He must not be doing very well at that hospital. And they must feel that he would probably be safer and society would be safer if he was at that hospital. You know what I'm saying? Psh, bruh, get smashed by the SEC like Arkansas. Facts. Facts. Trying to tell you, stay in your division. Stay in your division. You know what I'm saying? Be 14-1 with them low grade motherfuckers. Leave us the fuck alone over here. You know what I'm saying? Go play, go play in them garbage bowl games. You know what I'm saying? Go beat a Division III champion. Leave us the fuck alone over here. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is one of the longest crime casts that I've ever done. I usually don't go no damn 3 hours on crime cast, but I don't usually do crime cast on the late night stream. Usually the late night stream is something else. But I'm glad everybody was here to check out CrimeCast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate everybody smashing that like button and getting us up over those 20 likes. Hopefully the people that come in and watch the replay will leave comments and drop likes as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure exactly what is going on tomorrow. I know for a fact, more than likely, I'm going to be going live around the same time. Y'all know, late night. But it might be a Reacts podcast during the day. I'm not sure yet. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta holler at some people, and I gotta lock some times down and shit, and we'll figure it out. And it might be some short streams before anywhere from 3:30 to midnight. But when midnight come, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what goes down on midnight on Saturday and Sundays. You know what I'm saying? So on midnight, it's gonna go down. So with that being said, y'all. Oh, my man AJ said, "What's up with all money ain't good money?" You read my mind, AJ. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You read my mind. You read my mind. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will catch you guys on the next video. All right? Peace.